have more news breaking in this morning. This is coming in from Ranchi. Hemant Soren has reached the assembly for the trust vote. Shreya continues to be with us on that big story, joining us from Vidhan Sabha in Ranchi as we speak. What time, Shreya, is the trust vote and what does it look like as far as the numbers are concerned, Shreya?
It's a little bit of chaotic scene over here because, you know, all the MLAs are getting down from the bus one by one. We just saw the likes of Banna, Gupta, Basant, Soren, they all went inside. Now the bus is leaving, everyone's gone inside the assembly and the floor test will soon begin. What we will right now be seeing is an inaugural speech by the governor. After the governor's speech, we will then be seeing that the floor test will begin. Ranchi Soren is here, Hemant Soren is here, everyone's arrived. We are already seeing the clock is ticking at 11:01. So officially the floor test begins any time from now as soon as the special session will commence.
All right, as far as the numbers are concerned, Shreya did tell us earlier, Shreya, that it looks like Ranchi Soren has in fact the numbers and they're pretty comfortable. Yet they weren't taking any chances. The MLAs in fact flew out and are back to Ranchi right now, isn't it?
Well, yes, absolutely, Sneha. You know, 79 is right now the complete figure of the house because, as I told you, one of the seats are vacant. Ramdas Soren is right now being treated in Delhi. So the strength of the house is 79, which makes the halfway mark of 40. JMM coalition MLAs very clearly suggest that they have that comfortable figure which will go up above 43, more than the number of signatures that they had given in that Dawa Patra for Ranchi Soren. So he's inside. Once the governor's speech begins, we will see the floor test begin.
All right, Shreya getting us those details. Hemant Soren, and also in fact remember, sought permission from the court. Shreya, he wanted in fact to be a part of the trust vote. He said it is my right and the court did allow him. Even as the investigations in the matter involving allegedly Hemant Soren continue, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. It's because he's a sitting MLA. It's right that he will be allowed to be present at the floor test when it takes place. So the enforcement directorate officials we did see come over here. As per protocol, they had to give in a letter as per the court over to the Vidhan Sabha secretariat, and then the proceedings were smooth. We will see Hemant Soren inside when that floor test takes place. He's also been put on terms and conditions from the PMLA court that he will not be speaking to the media. So Hemant Soren is there. I mean, at the max, we will see within half an hour the Jharkhand political saga that began exactly a week back last Monday in Delhi, kind of like reach a conclusion, a finale. It'll be interesting to see what the JMM coalition has been claiming, whether that will be proven on the ground. They still suggest that they have the comfortable figure. It will be interesting to see how that plays out inside the Vidhan Sabha right now.
Well, absolutely. But attempts, they in fact have, they say that they essentially were prepared for attempts being made by the BJP to poach the MLAs away, but it does not look like that happened. They've managed essentially, Shreya, to keep their flock together is what it appears.
Well, absolutely. The kind of secrecy that had been taking place ever since those meetings were being held, to the point that they actually shifted their MLAs for even a matter of just 2 days from the circuit house to Hyderabad, to ensure that the flock is placed together. This entire tale actually suggests that they did not leave any stones unturned to ensure that there is no possibility of a defection. Also, Sneha, important to point out that we had seen some rebel MLAs that include the likes of Lobin Hembrom. Day before yesterday, we also saw him meeting Shibu Soren, and then after that he subsequently spoke to the media suggesting he is very much a part of the JMM family. So in a way, we can say that the JMM coalition has been successful so far, as it looks like that they have been able to put their house in order. But we also know the history of Jharkhand. So it will still have to wait till the last moment of the floor test to be done. And only then we can say that JMM has pulled it successfully, despite their sitting chief minister being arrested, to have their government in order till the time runs out.
Well, absolutely. And that was the first of a sitting chief minister there being arrested. We're referring and talking about Hemant Soren here, talking a little about this case that the former chief minister really is facing. Shreya, talk to us a little about the investigations as well, because that plays out in a parallel fashion. Even as Ranchi Soren's immediate task at hand is to ensure that to prove out that his government indeed has a majority. And these are pictures, in fact, live on your screens right now that you see. Shreya.
Well, Sneha, we obviously do see that there's all happy and merry right now for the JMM coalition, but we cannot say that the scared chapter is over for them so far as the ED case is concerned. Remember, not just one. Hemant Soren is being right now investigated in 3 cases, including the coal scam, the illegal scam, and the land mafia scam. He's now been arrested in the land mafia case. There is enough evidence for the ED suggest, as per their production warrant is concerned, that they have chats, they have cash transactions of the then revenue officer of Bargai place in Ranchi, who has those WhatsApp chats about a zameen of 8.5 acres, which was actually being was a part of a conspiracy between both the officials and Hemant Soren to actually get that in his name. So the ED says they have the records in place, they have the documents in place, they have the WhatsApp chats in place, and even we went to that very location, Sneha. It is an 8.5 acre land that is concerned. So Hemant Soren is definitely middle of a soup. We also see that today in the High Court, what the ED officials have moved to quash the FIR. There's a hearing going on there. So all is not over. The ED's scare is still looming on Jharkhand. For now, we will see the floor test proceeding, however.
Just show us around you, Shreya, who all in fact have arrived at the assembly just as we speak. We saw in fact pictures of Hemant Soren earlier. Tell us what's going on the floor of the House.
Sneha, as we talk, the special session is beginning. We will see an inaugural speech by the governor, because this is also the first session that's been called in of the new formed government, and also a special session that was requested by Champai Soren to prove the majority in the House. As we talk, all the MLAs are right now safely placed inside. This included the MLAs that were there in the circuit house and also the opposition MLAs, including the BJP. We saw the likes of people like Babulal Marandi. They're all gone inside right now. So definitely this is going to be a day that will be a highlight for the JMM coalition indeed, because they will try to also put that political image of an alliance flock put together at a time when the alliance specifically against the NDA does not look in a good picture at the other parts of the country. So in Jharkhand today, it will be a JMM coalition day. And why I'm saying that, because Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra also reaches Ranchi today. After the floor test, we'll see the dais move there. So clearly, this is something that they will try to show a strength put together in Jharkhand. But as I suggested, all is not over when it comes to the scare chapter of the Enforcement Directorate. They're still investigating the case, and whether or not we will subsequently see more skeletons tumbling out or not, that is also something that we cannot really say is over.
Well, absolutely. These are pictures, in fact, from earlier today of Hemant Soren reaching the assembly, where the trust vote is what the Champai Soren government essentially is facing. They were asked to prove the majority on the floor of the House, and the risk of poaching again was there. Shreya, talk to us a little about it, the dramatic fashion in which the MLAs essentially of the ruling coalition were flown down essentially to Hyderabad.
Well, yes, Neha, we need to understand why the entire strategy was used. One, we can definitely say that there was a fear of defection, and the people, especially the coalition, they did not want that to take place. However, we also need to understand the political messaging that is also being tried to send over here. Because Telangana especially is a Congress government, the Congress also tried to play the role of a big brother to look like, listen, we can actually ensure that our entire flock is together. So it is a political messaging, not just an attempt to ensure that their MLAs don't defect, but a larger picture of the alliance in an all-house strength together being projected before the media at a time when we see that we are approaching to the Lok Sabha elections. So today's Jharkhand Assembly floor test cannot independently be read as a state development. With the Lok Sabha elections nearing, the opposition amping their voice against the central agencies, particularly suggesting that their action comes at a time only closer to the elections and is only a political vendetta. This is the kind of politics that we will now be seeing leading up to the Lok Sabha elections. That is the reason today's floor test become extremely important for the alliance, which has in the near future not really been able to put their house together, especially if we look at Bengal, we look at Bihar, they haven't really got a very good picture. So Jharkhand is something that they're right now clinging on to send out a message that their house is in order, the alliance is together, especially before the Lok Sabha election. So we'll have to read it that way. This is not just a state developing story. This is probably a story that is developing at a larger picture.
Larger picture, Lok Sabha elections, and if at all Champai Soren manages to prove his majority, it is going to be a big win of the Indie bloc in that sense, because they have in fact suffered recent setbacks, isn't it, Shreya? This is the victory that they are actually waiting for.
Well, absolutely. You look at Bihar, how it took place. You look how it happened in West Bengal. The Mamata Banerjee has distanced from the India alliance. We can sort of say not happy with the Congress. Bihar is not really, is no more a hope for the India alliance. We also talk about the likes of Akhilesh Yadav. They also suggest he's not been invited for the Bharat Joro Nyaya Yatra at a time when the murmurs within the India alliance is not really at the best seat. Jharkhand and the development here today in Ranchi is something that they are also trying to highlight at a nice way. Remember, it's also interesting to see the choice of dates when it comes to the floor test. Today, Rahul Gandhi's Nyaya Yatra reaches Ranchi, and today is when the government also decided to actually go ahead with the floor test. This actually is a messaging of not just a floor test in a state assembly, but also a messaging about the India alliance, especially having been able to successfully keep their flock together at a time their sitting chief minister was also arrested by the enforcement directorate. So once, as I suggested, Sneha, this entire development in the Vidhan Sabha happens, which is the floor test, if they comfortably sail through, the dais will then shift on to the Bharat Joro Nyaya Yatra in Ranchi itself, which is scheduled with a public rally at 2 p.m. So a lot of political developments right now happening in Ranchi itself, but that alone we cannot say that the enforcement directorate and their fear is completely over, because they have strong evidence against Hemant Soren. He's definitely going to continue to face the heat right now. And as I was mentioning, as the case investigation proceeds, we cannot really say that more skeletons will not tumble out of the closet so far as the ED investigation is concerned. This was an ECIR that was registered in 2022. A case that the ED was investigating in another matter led to the arrest of Hemant Soren. So there's more that we probably need to watch out for. 2 more cases that the Enforcement Directorate is also subsequently investigating against Hemant Soren. So definitely, as far as the investigation in these scams are concerned, we cannot really say that Jharkhand is in a safe place.
All right. I'm going to thank you, Shreya Chatterjee, for the moment for getting us those details. Shreya from the Assembly in Ranchi, telling us about what really is expected today. Remember, Champai Soren government faces the trust vote, and Hemant Soren, the former chief minister, is also in fact taking part in the trust vote.